Sanam, aloha everybody. Welcome to the live stream. And if you could put your name and where you're logging in from, that would be great. And your type, if you know your human design type. And if you don't, then go down to the information box and you can get your free chart there, okay? And it's a good idea just to have it on hand anyway that you can refer back to. You know, you'll learn a lot more about human design following my channel. Okay. So let's look at the chart. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure that this is okay. So just an announcement. You'll notice that my recorded readings are still 50% off because I had many people email me requesting that I extend the 50% off of the recorded readings, and I had to really tune in. You know, I'm an emotional projector, so I had to sleep on it because I'm learning. You know, I've got a stellium in Taurus, and if we're up to me, I wouldn't want to even deal with money at all, you know. But it's one of my lessons in this lifetime. I've got Pluto in the second house too, knowing my value. So I had to really tune in. It's like, is this correct? And I got the yes, that it's correct. Okay, so it's for the people that are like, I can't afford it yet, but money will be coming in September. So yeah, so that's going to be extended for another month. So if you've already have your reading and it's has been of value to you, because this is really important. This helps us to decondition, because we have to decondition not our minds, right? It goes even deeper than that into the cells of our being. So this really fast tracks your deconditioning process. It's very subtle. I noticed that with myself when I started eating correctly and I'm in the right environment and everything, things just started to flow more easily for me. Okay, so let's look at Pluto here. That's what I want to look at, is Pluto. I may go into the full moon on Tuesday or Wednesday. When is the full moon? Let me just check. Time's just doing weird things. Oh, it's Friday. It's on a Friday. Okay. Okay, so Pluto moved into the 61. So I just want to check my ephemeris. Okay, so it's going in there on the 5th, on September 5th, so tomorrow, from the 60 to the 61, and it's going to be there until... it's going to be there until November 11th. November 11th. So this is the last time it goes into the 61. So this is a big deal, right? Because Pluto's moving into to the 41, the start codon of everything, right? So from now then, September 5th until November 11th, it's going to be in the 61. So it's been in there before, so it's no surprise to us. So Pluto is like the excavator. It like digs and digs and digs, and it gets to the truth. It gets to the truth. So this is the gate of inner truth up here. You can see it's coming off the crown chakra. So this is the top center here. So 70% of the world have an open crown chakra. So what does that mean? It means that it's not colored in. So if you look at your chart, chances are that yours is going to be open too as well. Okay, so this crown chakra is open. So what does that mean? That means that our least favorite character here, Wormtongue, he represents the ego in my world, that's where he gets in. Wherever it's white, that's where Wormtongue has a lot of power. If you're not operating correctly, then you're listening to the ego. So that's where the ego comes in. And what does it do? Right? With the open, with the 61, the shadow, it's like you need to know. It's like you need to know more and more and more and more. You need to more and more knowledge which is just a collection of facts. You can see our whole educational system is based on this, right? Who can memorize these facts the best? Who can regurgitate the facts the best, you know? Also, it's school season, so I just wanted to say, I know I give schools a bad rap, and I call them indoctrination schools, government schools, which they are, right? Elementary school, especially now, elementary school, junior high school. But higher education, I went to art school, and I was meditating on that, and I think it's different because I was rewarded for being unique. I was rewarded for being an independent thinker. I was rewarded for thinking outside the box. It wasn't about regurgitation. So I feel like there is a benefit to school. So if you are going back to school yourself, I'm not saying not to, right? Or don't listen to me anyway. Listen to your own inner authority, but maybe you have a child in school and stuff. The best thing you can do for your children is to teach them to think for themselves, right? Not to fall into group think, to really give them that empowerment of like standing up for what you know is right inside of you. Even if a parent, maybe you don't agree with your child. I don't agree with my child, but regardless, you want to encourage them to stand up for themselves and to think for themselves, right? That's the best thing you can do for your child, especially if they're in the school system right now. Because not everybody has the luxury of being able to homeschool, Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I come from a long lineage of teachers. My mother was a teacher, and my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and on and on and on. So it's part of my DNA is teacher, right? The archetype of teacher. Okay, so that's my blurb on schools. Okay, so the shadow, right? The shadow is working through the ego, and the ego is like, you got to collect more and more and more facts. You got to know, you got to know, you got to know. And you look at the internet, right? The internet. Back in my day, we had a library card. Remember that? We have a library card, and then we go in the little index cards, and then we find our books. And now it's like there's so much information now that if you go to research something, it's just endless. You could just be in the research stage forever, right? It never ends. So this is all about thinking about things that don't matter, right? Look over there, look over there. This is what the shadow is saying. And look at all the distractions in our world. 70% of the world have an open crown chakra, so they're under this shadow frequency, right? And this blocks insights. It blocks insights. So what are insights? They're not coming from the mind. They're not coming from their ego. They're coming from a deeper place within you, right? So this is the surface of life up here, and you can see the little worm tongues up there on the surface of life. He can't live down here. This is where the insights come. This is your deeper self. So it's really interesting. We're in a time now where all the planets are in retrograde or in shadow, which means they're about to come into retrograde, like every single one of them except for Venus. Venus is the only one that's not headed for retrograde, right? That's all about our relationships and our values. But everything else is pointing us to go inside, to go deeper inside, to find our own inner truth. That's what this Pluto is saying, to find our inner truth, not to be up in the surface of life. This is where all the distractions are. This is where groupthink is. This is where all the conditioning is up here, right? And in the ocean, even if you've been in a swimming pool, if you ever dive to the bottom, and sit at the bottom of the pool, how quiet it is, right? And as you come up, it's so noisy. This is a metaphor for our life, right? It's so noisy up in the surface of life because this is time. This is time. This is the mind. This is the ego, right? And it's crazy right now. You want to be here in your deeper self, and this is where the insights are. And the greater insights come through the emotional body, through that emotional body work. That's where the insights come. So if you've done emotional work, Like, let's look at an example, because I have you people here. Obsessive thinking, right? This is part of the shadow of psychosis, the 61. It's the pressure to know, the addiction to understanding everything with your mind. So obsessive thinking, you know, when your mind is like, it just won't stop, and you're obsessing over one thought or one conversation you've had or something that happened, or you're trying to understand, or you're trying to make a decision, and your mind just, right? It's up here, right? It's up here in the surface of life. That's what it means to be in the surface of life. This is obsessive thinking, right? Obsessive thinking. Well, it's a symptom. You have to look at it as a symptom, like when my mind is really like out of control, this is a symptom of something deeper, that my emotional body's been triggered. My emotional body has been triggered, right? Creating there, it's like the I can see the image, but I don't have the word, is the seed, the cause of where the thoughts are coming from that are sprouting up. That's what the word I'm looking for, is a sprout, right? The thoughts are the sprout, but the seed is deeper, and it's been planted in this emotional body. So it means your emotional body's been triggered, and this is how we're evolving, right? For the Aquarian age, for this great age, in the shift of the ages, right? It's through the emotional body. So the emotional body gets triggered, and then this thinking sprouts up. These crazy thoughts start sprouting up. The obsessive thinking, it's like a dog in a bone. Can't let go of these thoughts. Well, what do you want to do in these times? Well, you want to go retreat, right? You want to be alone, if you can, without any distractions. And that means turning off the phone, the radio, making things quiet. I love noise cancellation headphones. I just put those on and the world just disappears. And I can go deep in myself, right? This is where you want to go. You want to go deeper and deeper into the self, where it's quiet, right? And then you want to focus on your breathing then, right? You want to focus on your breathing. You've got no outside distractions. You're just hearing your breath. If you go really deep, you'll even hear the pounding of your heart, right? Your heartbeat. And you want to bring all your attention to your heart chakra, and you're going to find right away it's closed, right? It's shut down, or there's something going on in there, right? Because it's the unconditional love that's moving through us. That's the evolution, right? So the center of your chest, right? And you want to stay there. And the mind and ego are going to fight. They're going to fight you, because the ego doesn't want you to go there into the heart chakra. This isn't working, and you got things to do, and you're thinking of all the things you got, right? The mind wants you focused on things. It wants you focused on the external and being busy, right? With the obsessive mind. You want to keep returning. It's the discipline, right? It's keep returning to the heart chakra, bringing all your awareness to your heart chakra. And you're like, well, I don't know how I do that. Well, if you stub your toe, immediately your awareness goes right to your toe, right? If I say, bring your awareness to your big toe right now, you can do that. It's a point of attention. We can move our attention all over our body, wherever. We can move it anywhere. We can bring our attention to the room that we're in. We can bring our attention to the window and look outside at the tree, right? You just holding your attention to the heart chakra, not in the mind, right? So your attention, wherever your attention goes, energy flows, right? So you're bringing your attention to your heart chakra, and all your energy is going to the heart chakra, and you got the big focus of light on your heart chakra, and that's what wants to open, right? With the obsessive thinking is just a symptom that there's something going on in your heart chakra, right? But it goes deeper into the emotional body. Remember, the solar plexus, right, is an alchemy, what's happening in there, and it's opening up your heart. That's the end game. So you want to commit to it. You want to remain still, physically still, right? So again, the ego is like, oh, I've got an itchy head and I've got this, and right, and it's going to want you external, but it's a discipline. You just stay still and you commit to it, right? And the stuck energy will start to move, right? And the completion ends with a cry. With crying is the when you detox physically, you blow your nose and you have phlegm and that's part of the detox symptoms of physical clearing. Well, an emotional clearing, it's the crying. That's detoxing your emotional body, right? Your emotional body right now needs to be purified. This is the detoxing work that we do, right? So that's something to be aware of, right? And then the obsessive thinking ends. And what happens after the obsessive thinking ends? There's room, right? And what is there room for? Right? Are those insights, the insights that come from beyond the mind. They don't come from the mind. The true insights don't come from the mind. They come from your deeper self. These insights come. But they really come after you've had a big emotional clearing, and that. It's like, oh, I had a big cry the other day, and then up comes the insight. Right, the insight comes, and then the perception starts to clear. Right, the lens that you've been looking through life at, which is all about the past, it starts to clear, and then you see things clearly. You see people clearly. You can see why, what particular pattern this was. So these are the emotional memories that they're clearing, and this is how it happens. It's like, don't get caught up in the story. You just feel it. And then the insight is like, oh, that's why. That's where this pattern's coming from, right? That it will trace back to a past, like a past trauma, right? When you were that 0 to 7 years old, right there. Okay. So knowing, you got to watch the mind. This is a waste of your energy, because something has to feed all those neurons firing up in your walnut. The walnut, right, takes up a lot of energy with thinking and thinking and thinking. It's a waste of your energy. It's not an efficient. I'm a projector, right? I'm all about efficiency of energy. So you want to be more efficient with your energy. So why am I thinking about this stuff? Does it even matter? Why is mainstream news feeding me this garbage in my head? It's like a big distraction, right? Collecting facts and trivia and things like that. And you see people are just parroting that back, right? Things that they heard on the news channel. It's a waste of your energy, right? Waste of your energy. So you don't want to be thinking about things that don't really matter. And this means watching your mind, right? An unwatched mind, like I said in Course in Miracles, that's the problem, because an unwatched mind, it means all those thoughts have to go somewhere, and they go into your unconscious, and then when you're an automatic, like a zombie, right? This is what it means to be asleep. You're operating from these unconscious thoughts. That's how predictive programming happens, right? That's how they do mind control, because most people aren't aware. They're not conscious of what they're taking in, right? What they're eating, what they're digesting, right? In terms of media. And then it gets in there and then it operates. That's the operating system of the zombie, right? Also, this shadow makes you want to give your power over to an expert. And this is all about this cross of planning that we're leaving, right? For 2027 that I talked about. In the bargain, remember, this is tribal consciousness leaving. And the bargain is, I do this for you. I do this for the tribe. I provide skills and I provide my energy and my time, right? And then the tribe gives me something back, a paycheck, supports me, right? This is all going away for 2027 and onward. We're moving more into the sleeping phoenix, right? This cross of the sleeping phoenix for the next 400, almost 400 years, right? So this is all about, part of the bargain too, is to give away your power to an so-called expert, like a medical expert, right? That's part of the bargain, as being this cross of planning. I give my power over to an expert. They're an authority over my body, right? They know more about my body than I do, right? How can anybody know more than you about your own body? You're in it, right? And you have insights, right? So the collection of facts is go to medical school, and which is really run by big pharma now, right? It's all about a pharmaceutical model, medicine. It's not about healing anymore, right? It's about big business, right? And it's just facts and figures. It's not connected to anything. It's connected to the mind, right? And we're leaving that. So you have a deep, deep insight into your own body, right? I've gotten insights about my own body. I've never gone to medical school. I don't go to some internet site about, diagnosing myself and stuff, but I'll just get an insight. And like this rash, I just had this ongoing rash, and I went deep within. It's like, what's this about? And it's like, I need iodine, nascent iodine. So I started taking that. Just 2 days ago, the rash is gone, right? I just listened to my own insights. And so you have the same thing. This is what we're learning, right? For this new cross of the sleeping phoenix, it's all about becoming your own authority, your own inner authority, like listening to yourself, right? It's the age of self-empowerment. It's self-reliance. It's not giving your power anymore. Because what I said, right? The evolutionary energy, this wave that's coming towards us, doesn't care about the people that are the tribal people that give their power away. That I can form the best, right? Somebody's going to come and save me, right? I'm not making any correct decisions for myself. I'm making all my decisions for my mind. Evolution energy, right? Evolutionary energy doesn't care about those people, right? That are living in time, which is the mind and the ego. What else do I want to say? About this. So the gift is inspiration, and that's filled with spirit, right? That's what inspiration means. It means to be filled with spirit. So that's what I would say, is just watch your mind. Become more aware of what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking your own thoughts, or did you pick up on somebody else's thoughts? The thing with the open crown is you pick up on other people's thoughts. You could be somewhere out and about, somewhere, and suddenly you're thinking about, thinking about becoming a vegan or something, right? I'm going to become a vegan, and this is why. It's like, where did those thoughts come from? Is this correct for me? And then this is how it works, right? People just pick up on, they got their antenna up and they're just picking up thoughts, but it's other people's thoughts, right? And then somebody's running off and being a vegan. And may not be correct for them, may not be correct for their body, right? So you want to be like, where are these thoughts coming from? I find that myself. It's like, I know these, because I know my mind. It's like, these are not my thoughts. Why am I thinking about this? Because I picked up thoughts from another person, that I was in their aura, right? And I picked up their thoughts. They're not mine. So the most important thing to remember, human design people, is not to be making your decisions from your mind, right? That's what surrender means. Surrender means I'm taking the authority from my mind, and I'm going to bring it into my own strategy. I'm going to start to use my own strategy, because this is what's going to keep us safe, right? Safe, so that we can navigate through these great times of change that we're in right now. So I did a quick tarot reading before the live stream. I like to do the spontaneous one when you're here too, but I also like to tune in beforehand. I think this helps me. So this is us right now, right, that are listening right now. This is the Queen of Air, the Queen of Swords. Let me write that down. So this is trying to figure things out, right? Trying to figure things out. It's using the mind because it's swords, right? The Queen of Air. So that's us needing to communicate sharply, right? So it's not about gathering information, it's about communication. Like the Queen of Swords is all about communication. And then what not to focus on. So this is very much in the mind, right? The Queen of Swords is very much in the air. Mind just like cuts through the BS, right? That's the Queen of Swords, cuts through the BS. Blunt, right? Blunt, like the Ice Queen, like an Ice Queen. But what she's saying is very truthful, right? So there's no excess. It's just like to the point, right? Blunt to the point. And then you've got the Knight of Fire. This is what not to focus on right now during this week. And the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands, just comes in and out, right? He's he flits here and there. Oh, this interests me. I'm going to go over here. Not committal, non-committal at all. The Adventurer doesn't stay long, right? It's like I'm bored here. I'm going to go over here now. I'm bored here. I'm going to go over here. So this is saying not to. This is about action, right? So it's saying not to get into that space of like, I'm just going to act on anything. I'm going to act on whatever whimsical thought comes to me. I'm just going to act on this and we'll see where it goes. No, it's not. This isn't the time for that. And let me just get I want to move me over here so we can see that better, right? So this is because there's so many planets going retrograde. So this made a lot of sense, like not to be like being flitting from here to there on every whimsical thought that you have, right? And then the spiritual advice is release. That's the Death card in the traditional tarot. It's the Death card, and you can see I love this. Look, it's I just saw that. That's the Phoenix. That's the Phoenix, the sleeping Phoenix being released. So this is the Death card in the traditional tarot. So this is ending. This isn't just ending, a chapter. This is ending a book. Like this is a big transformational card right here. That something is ending, something really key. Some book that you've been writing for yourself is coming to an end, and now you're gonna be moving into a whole new chapter. So this could be release, so this could be release of some relationships that you've been in. There could be a transition going on in your relationships, maybe with your child, right? Your child is going into another developmental stage. This means you transform as a parent, right? The parent's always transforming as what with the child, right? Could be a release from a long-term relationship that you've been, a long-term way of being, like your identity, that could be coming to an end too, right? So you can see why it's like, I'm not here to take action right now. This is a very introspective time because you've got the Awakening card. That's the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot deck. This is enlightenment. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but he's got a little halo around his head, right? It signifies enlightenment, and it's taking a new perspective on things. This is insight. New insights are coming, right? For the new. And then the wheel. Where is it? There's the wheel. The 10. Right? That's the Chariot in the traditional tarot deck. And this is just everything is just the wheel is shifting. Right? It's interesting too because human design has the mandala. So the wheel, we're watching the wheel shift now from the cross of planning into the cross of the sleeping Phoenix, this new global cycle that we're entering into. So the wheel means you don't have to do anything. The wheel is moving. Right? This is moving on. You're moving on to somewhere new. And this is, the wheel is always like you're not moving to a bad place. You're moving into a better place for you that's more aligned with your authentic self. So it's saying to go within, right? And to release, let things end, right? If things don't have energy for you anymore. Remember the last reading I did was all about what am I emotionally connected to right now, right? That's where the energy is for you. If there's no emotional connection to you with another person or a situation, a job, a place of living, it's ended. This is what it means. It's ended, right? So it's about letting that go. These old attachments are going, right? And something new is coming. And so this is about pausing and going within, right? Yeah. So that's very positive. What else do I want to say about that? In the 61, right? It goes into Pluto, and the 61 is finding your own inner truth for you. The thing is, with the ego, giving your authority over, to the ego, what's the ego tell you? Right? Is to give your authority over to, you can even give your authority over to your family and your friends. That's not the way to go now, because your truth could be completely different than your friend's truth. Your friends may have the best intentions for you. They only want the best for you. But what they're going to do is they're going to project their fears onto you, right? Their fears onto you, and it may not be correct for you. Their advice may be correct for them, but not correct for you. So if you're the person, it's like, I can't make any decisions unless I talk to five of my friends to hear all their perspective on things. This is what you're really referring to. You're referring to this ego. You need to find your own truth, right? You need to go deep inside, go down deep. Where's my ocean picture, right? You got to go down deep to find your own inner truth. And then you have to have the courage and the strength to say, thank you for your feedback and your perspective on things, but I really have to obey my own intuition. I have to obey my own insight. This is my truth, right? Which may or may not be the same as your family's truth or your friend's truth, right? So don't just go like, it's a dangerous way of living right now, is to just to go on so-called expert, right? Getting your advice from your sister or your brother or your mother or your father, right? Or all your friends. It's like, the evolutionary energy does not care about people that are getting bad advice from their friends, right? Because it's about you finding your own inner truth now, right? And the thing with this shadow is, let me see here. Okay, there we go. With this shadow is, I lost my train of thought. The thing with this shadow, well, I guess it's not important. Okay. Okay, we gotta finish the me and there's my open crown, right? Getting distracted here. I'll listen to my own advice. Okay. Okay. Let's do it this way. I apologize, everybody. Okay. I don't know why it's not doing that. The bottom of the reading, I'm just going to just keep talking, is the dreamer. You can see this is the dreamer. And, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm just going to talk. So the bottom part right here is the dreamer. And in terms of the reading here, let's get here. There we go. You can see there's the dreamer. So this is the Fool card in the tarot deck. This is the beginning, the new. So this is the foundation of the theme here. And so this also is echoing that it's a new chapter for everybody. It's a new book for everybody. This is the beginning, right? It's the beginning. You can see the little girl, she's chasing the butterfly. And that's always a symbol of transformation, right? Protected, right? There's the angel protecting the child. And there's the dog. There's always a dog in the Fool card. Okay, so it's beginning and it's believing, right? So it's trusting. This means to trust your insights, right? Trust your intuition and trust your heart. And your heart's protecting you. So remember, with the mind and the ego are in time. They live in time. And now we're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix. We're coming more and more into the present moment. This means we're coming more and more into our eternal self. We've got to get used to living in a timeless way. So living in a timeless way, I mean just a practical way of looking at it is, when you do things where you lose all track of time, when you get lost in like an art project or something like that, or gardening or something that you're doing where it's like, oh my God, the 2-3 hours have passed and I don't know where that time went. Well, that's living in the timeless. This is us moving in more and more into this present moment and not strategizing, right? Strategizing. So that's what this is saying. It's like our dream is unfolding through the wheel, right? It's the wheel. It's happening. The wheel's moving, right? Our dream is becoming manifest. Whatever that is, following our dream is following our heart and our intuition. And it's about believing, right? It's about believing in that I'm going to be protected because I'm in the eternal, right? And your intuition can see, spirit awareness, unity consciousness can see beyond, can see what's coming and will protect you, right? And give you the heads up of, okay, you need to shift gears here or something will happen in your life. It's reminding me of a dream I had. And I think the dream was just to show me how much I've shifted, because our shifts are very subtle, when we're because a lot of people are like, I'm doing so much inner work and I'm not seeing anything going on in the external. Well, there's a lot going on in the internal, right? So I had this dream. It was late at night and I was driving and I had to turn left off the highway, right, to drive back home. And my car died, right? My car died. And so I got out and then I walked up the hill to this garage. Nobody was there. But I started having thoughts like, oh, I'm so happy that my car died when I was off the highway because I was safe. I was safer there. And then I look in the garage and behind the curtain, there's this bed. And it's like, oh, I could stay here and sleep. And I just had so much gratitude for all these blessings, right? But it was showing me, it's like, oh, that's how, it's my dream was showing me how much I've shifted, because now the old me would see the negative, right? The old me would go into victim, and it's like, why is this happening? And why did my car die? And these horrible things always happen to me. And then the dream is showing me all the blessings that are there if you just look around, right? If you just look around. So this is what this dreamer card is saying, that you'll be protected on your journey. You're a spiritual being having human experiences, So this is what we have to trust now, is the divine is protecting each one of us. And if you look back in your life, maybe you didn't see the protection, right? But you are protected, right? All of us have guardian angels, that are protecting us from harm. So this is about believing in that and going into that little girl, that energy of that little girl, which is, you're a child of God. You're here to play and have fun and create and realize yourself on this earth plane, right? Yeah. So there we go. So I just want to look at everybody, yeah. C.A. Patterson, Satnam Aloha, happy to be with you. Manifestor 3-5, Leo, Sun, Cancer, Moon. Okay, Lisa's 5-2 projector, Scorpio from Texas. Yeah, Lisa, yeah. Well, the last 3 days, I feel like I was in a tunnel. Right? Very emotional time for me too in the last couple days. But that's always a sign for me to just go within. Yeah. And depressed, yeah. It's low energy. Satnam Karen, generator 5-1 from New York. Okay. In Massachusetts, corruption exposed, Satnam. Kimberly's a manifester. Lots of stuff going on. Yeah, really weird week. Joy. Oh, good. You booked a reading. I'll be sending that. If it's not, hasn't reached you in 3 days, you want to contact me. But I'm going to be, after I take my dog to the park, I'm going to get caught up. Satnam Robert from Nova Scotia. Splenic manifester. We got lots of manifestors. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Lisa. So the closer we get to our true nature, the more darkness will try to get at us. Yeah, that ego will come out with vicious attacks, right? The closer you come to you and your power. So you just that's how we can use the ego, right? It's like, oh, there's something here for me to explore, right? Yeah. Well, this is old pain. Are you talking about physical pain, Jen? Like old pain can come up to be healed? Because the vibration on the planet is really shifting and changing right now. Even the dog is struggling, yeah. See the positive in it. It's like, I'll go through that, like old pain. Because remember, it's the root of it's the emotional. Even the physical is the root of it's emotional. And it's grabbing your attention, right? So that's another way to look at, you have got your obsessive thinking, which is a symptom, but you also have physical pain. So most of us are on the surface of life, right? The surface of life, and we want to deal with the physical. And of course, you've got to deal with the physical. If you're hit by a car or something like that, you got to deal with that, obviously, right? But it's about going to the deeper root. If it's like, oh, it's this pain in my shoulder, it's like I've had it, and it's reoccurring, and it's back again, and it's grabbing your attention. That's all it is. Your body's grabbing your attention. And if you go within and actually really feel, right, it will start to break. It will start to break, and it's like, oh, that's emotional. That's emotional, right? And dogs are connected to us, right? So remember that too. Your dog is connected to you. So the dog will show you if there's something you got to look at in yourself, right? If my dog back in the day had a bladder infection, and I tried everything with her, right, to get rid of this bladder infection, and I got her on a special diet, and I got her on medication, and it would only work for a little while until I got the insight. The insight was I wasn't drinking enough water, right? I was headed to have some kind of bladder infection, right? So I started drinking lots more water, and it totally cleared up. My dog totally cleared up. Yeah. People with more open centers are easily conditioned. Yes. The people that have colored in centers are not prone to be conditioned as much. And if you're an individual too, I'm a pure individual, so I'm less likely to be conditioned than somebody who's collective or all tribal. They've got tribal channels. What was I going to say about that? And you can see reflectors, why they've got the Teflon, the Teflon aura is to protect them in a sense, right? Because they're open. Every center is open. None is colored in. Okay. Yeah. And that's a good point, Karen. Even though I love books, it's so much easier than going to source. And this is about the knowing and the knowledge. So knowledge is collecting the facts and the details, right? That's knowledge. But knowing is so much faster. That's you're connected to source. I just know. And it's like, well, how can you know without knowing? That's what knowing is, right? When you're connected to your eternal self. This is the gift of the 61, is I know. And it's like when you're in love. You know, when you're in love, you know. You don't have to prove. You don't have to have facts. And it's like, well, this is why I'm in love. Because she's like this and she does this and she looks like this. It's like, no, I just know. I just know. Well, it's the same thing. That's what knowing is. So have you ever known something? You just know it. You don't know why you know it, but you just know it. It's the same as being in love, right? That's what knowing is. Yeah. Blinders are lifting. Waheguru for Kimberly. Yeah. Been doing a lot of detoxing. That's great. That's great. And to welcome that. And detox that emotional body is the most important. Yeah. You can hear people's thoughts. That's true. It doesn't matter if they're next to you, right? You can be connected to people telepathically that you're close to, that you have a heart connection with. It's like you hear their thoughts and what's going on with them. You know, you'll just know. Another manifester. We got lots of manifestors. Oh, that's a good question, Wicked Snail 777. Why is there an imbalance of human design types? Is there a reason why there's more numbers of certain? I want to put you up here because I love your little avatar. The snail. Okay. Why are there certain types and less of others? Yeah. Well, there's 10% of manifestors. There's 1% of reflectors, 20% of projectors. And the generators they're most of the planet. They're 70% of the planet. So 35% manifesting generator, 35% generator. I mean, life would cease to exist if we didn't have the generator. So it makes sense that the major type would be generator, right? They're generating the life force energy right now. And clearly we need 20% to guide, right? It's kind of God's math plan. But all I can point to is that all those generators are needed, you know? Okay. And Heather's a 5-1 generator, right on. Leader, if you've got a fifth line in the black, 0.5 in the sun earth position, or 0.5 on the unconscious earth and sun position, then you're a leader. You're a fixer. Massachusetts corruption exposed, Aquarius rising generator, Taurus sun, Cancer moon. Yeah, no wonder you're going through a hard time with your children, right? Cancer moon, they're very connected to family and their children. Yeah. And the past, it's hard for them to let go of the past, the Cancer moons. You probably, your moon shows you your past lives too. You've probably spent a lot of past lives as a mother, a parent. Ringing in the ear. I know that one. That's something's getting your attention when you got the ringing in the ear. That's what because I get that too. It's like, oh, something wants my attention right now, and I just become more aware of my environment and look around, like because divine wants your attention. That's what the ringing in the ear means, and it's also like an upgrade too, because I don't have a third eye. Like I can see energy when I don't try. I can see energy. I can see aura. But it's not consistent. But what's consistent for me is my ear. I've got an inner, the third eye, I got a third ear, right? That's how I get my information is acoustic. So I can't listen to, like if I have my phone, somebody phones, like I never use this anyway. I just have it on speaker. But I can't, and I've been like this since I was a kid. I could never listen with my left ear because I would be overwhelmed. I couldn't hear what they were saying because I was overwhelmed by all the psychic information that was coming at me, like these other frequencies. So I had to always listen with this ear. That's what I noticed. Since I was a kid, I've been like that. That's my third ear, right? So I can tell when somebody's speaking from their ego or they're lying, and there's certain people I can't listen to at all because they're not right for me, right? My ear shows me that. That's the individual circuitry. If you have individual channels, you'll be like that because it's acoustic. It's acoustic. And both my channel, 1.8 and 3955, are both individual channels. Yeah. Yeah. So check your chart and see what kind of circuitry you have. Yeah. Let your dog know. This is what I do to Bougie sometimes when he's getting... I watch it now because I don't want him to suffer, and I have to let him know, like, you don't have to take this on for me. You know, please don't take this on for me, because he'll start to get... if I get kind of stressed, rarely do I get really stressed out anymore, but time, right? The pressure of time, and he would throw up, right? Because he was feeling my stress, you know? But so it keeps me on my game. It's to stay calm and centered, right? Because you don't want your little pets to suffer. They're showing you, right, that you're off, something's off. Okay. Yeah. So Lisa, go with the ringing ear, like go inside first, right, before you run into a doctor, right? To go inside first, because they're just going to give you a drug, like something to put in your ear or something, is to go and get the insight. It's like, what am I not listening to, right? Something's trying to get your attention. And it's your listening, probably your internal listening, right? Because the right ear is more masculine. So the right ear is about what we're hearing outside. So sometimes your ear will, this is what's happened to me too in the past. I can't hear anything out of my right ear because this is what the divine is doing. Stop listening to out here and start listening to yourself inside. You know, you'll get the message. Yeah. 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 See how your dog's right there, Massachusetts, right by your side, like a little angel. That's what a psychic told me in Sedona. She said she was an animal communicator. She looked at Bougie, my little dog, and she said that he's quite chatty. I mean, I'd probably agree with that too. He's quite chatty, and she said that he's your guardian angel. That's his job, so he doesn't like to leave you alone, right? He always wants to be around with you, and it's very true. Okay, so let's do a reading for the signs, and I want to do the reading for the signs. There we go. Okay, this is doing something. Okay, there we go. I guess I need it to be full screen for that. Okay. So let's go to the top here. We'll go to the types. Go to the types. Okay. Okay. So we got our different types here. So we got the manifestors, the generators, and the generators are are manifesting generators and generators. So this is most of the planet, right? 70% of the planet. And if the generators started to wake up, look out. Our whole world would completely shift and change. But we'll see. So the strategy for the generator is not to listen to the mind to make your decisions, but to listen to your sacral response, right? And which answers with a yes or a no. So let's do some cards for the generator first. And they have the open and enveloping aura type. Are we going to play this game? Technology. You know, the ego can come in and wreak havoc too with external things on the external world. Okay. There we go. Let's try that. We'll see if the overlay is here. Okay. There we go. What am I doing? Overlay. This helps with when I do the timestamps. Oh, God. Okay. Okay. You guys keep talking while I clear this up. There's usually a little button here that I can zoom. I don't see it though. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. 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 What did I do? Oh yeah. What did I do? Me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try this again. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, the overlays are showing up. There's the generators. Can you see me? I can't see me. Okay. Okay. Oh, you can't see me. Okay. Okay, maybe I've got to do just me on the big screen, maybe. If that's going to work. Overlays. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. There's a generator. Okay. Just bear with me for a second here. I'm going to try one more thing. Okay, that's, I can see me there. But I don't think I can get the overlays. No, it's got to be this one. Okay. Option. Picture and picture shape. Okay. Okay. I think we're going to have to do it this way. Oh, that's a drag. That is a drag. Yeah. Okay. How am I going to do this? Okay, so this is a reading for the generators. I just wanted to do a thumb here so it's easy for me to find it when I do the timestamp. Okay. So let's look at the generators. And what do the generators need to hear? That's the card for the generators that are listening. What are the cards for the generators? Okay. So the generators got the world. There's the world card. You can see the angel. She's hugging the world. It's like a grandma. Grandma Gaia hugging the world. So this is an ending, right? Ending, completing of a cycle. So that's fits with the general tarot reading for the collective. So it's celebration. This is the end of the major arcana, right? It goes to 21. So accomplishment, celebration, and completion of something for the generator. It makes sense, doesn't it? Like the planets, everything is one. The planets are showing us so many going into retrograde now to go internal. Okay. Okay, let's see what the ego is telling the generators. What's the ego telling the generators? What's the ego telling the generators? That's way too many. So you got one ego card, which is guilt, right? So this is the ego tricking you with guilt. It manipulates you with guilt to pay off guilt. Our whole economic system is based on guilt. That's what the debt system is. You look at it that way. If you've got debt, like financial debt, it's connected to guilt. Okay. I think it's just the one, you guys. So pay off guilt. That's what the ego is telling you. And this means to go into sacrifice. So this is conditioned guilt. There's conditioned guilt. This has been propagated by religion, right? That you're an original sinner. There's no hope for you. You're just a sinner, right? All you can do is like throw yourself at the feet of God and ask for forgiveness, right? Or the priest, right? This is what this is all about, right? And to go into sacrifice. And so the meaning of sacrifice here is sacrificing your authenticity, right? In order to pay off guilt. So you want to go deep inside, because this is what this is saying is that this is ending, generators, right? This is ending. So you want to go to response. Go to your strategy. Go to your strategy to respond, right? You're responding with your sacral, yes or no, right? And if it says yes, that means it's a correct response for you. It's correct for you. That energy is correct for you to interface with. But don't be listening to the ego that's trying to manipulate you with guilt, right? So that could be well, you should really do that, you know. So say your navel is saying, no, this isn't right for me. But then you know, this is how it can be, right? So maybe your mother calls you up. Your mother calls you up and says, can you come over I want you to come over for dinner this Sunday, right? I want you to come over for dinner. And it's a long drive, like it's a 5-hour drive for you. And you're like, I've got to check with my navel first. Maybe you hang up with your mom and I'm going to check my navel first. And your navel's saying, no, it's not correct for you. No, don't go. Well, then the ego gets in there and it's like, it's the guilt. Well, she's your mother. She's done so much for you. You should go. You should go. Why are you not going? What's the big deal? Just go, right? She sacrificed so much for you when you were a young kid, right? Right? And this is how you get tricked out of your own natural strategy, right? And then if you say no, well, no, mom, my sacral says no, it's not correct for me. This isn't a good time for me. Maybe another time. And then your mom can get it. Now everything I did for you, and you can't even come and see me, right? See me once for a dinner or whatever, right? But if you obey your strategy, then you may find out later, like, it's a good thing I didn't drive 5 hours to my mother's place because there was a big, huge snowstorm and a pile-up car crash, right? That could have been me there, right? So your strategy is also connected to the eternal and knows what's correct for you, right? So I feel like for the generators out there, that any part of you that's been tricked and manipulated through guilt, it's coming to an end. Like these, and this is old, right? This isn't just about you. This is about your mother or your father down the ancestral line of being religion, right? For thousands of years. We've all been tricked into this. We're trying to prove that we're good people, right? Because we're trying to pay off this guilt that we came in this world with, right? Yeah. And you know this out in the world right now. How dare you even think of yourself, right? To feel guilty about even listening to your own inner authority, you know? What do you know, right? What do you know? Did you go to school for 20 years, right? What do you know? Get where you belong, which is below the, in the hierarchy. You're down below on the first rung. You know, get where you belong, right? That's the guilt. So I feel like this is coming to an end for the generators, and the generators are going to get stronger and stronger. They're not going to be giving away their energy, right? Giving away their energy. Oh, you get to use my energy, harvest my energy in any way you choose, right? Because the real currency, like I said before, is the energy. It's not the paper and the coins, right? It's your energy. Yeah. So this is good. So it's about listening to your navel and getting your chin out. And it's like, no, I obey my strategy, right? That's what's going to keep me safe, not this guilt, paying off guilt, right? Yeah. That's what I see for the generators. No more trickery for the generators. If they go within, right, and listen to their sacral and see what happens. Right? It's about having an experiment. Okay, so this is for the manifesting generators, just so I can find this easily when I timestamp. The manifesting generators. They're 35% of the world, and they're here to respond with yes or no, and they're here to feel fulfilled, right? Satisfied in the work they do, the way they use their energy. Same with the generators. And if they're not operating correctly, they feel frustrated, right? Annoyed, trapped, stuck. That's the non-self generator. Okay. So what are the manifesting generators? What's going on with the manifesting generators here? What's going on with the manifesting generators? What do the manifesting generators need to see? Let's see here. The manifesting generator. Oh, there we go. I didn't do anything. Oh, that's you still can't see me though. Okay. So the manifesting generator got the 5 of water, which is the 5 of cups, also an ending of disappointment and regret. You can see this, right? You can see that picture. You see her? The angel behind her with the spilt milk, right? Yeah. But you can see with this card, right? There's the 3. She's crying over the 3 cups here. You can't see here. The 3 cups of milk spilt, right? But she can't see these 2 cups that are fine. They're filled. She's too focused on these. So that's the manifesting generator. This is about disappointment from the past. Going through some kind of disappointment and regret. And it requires forgiveness by you. For the manifesting generators. And that's the thing, right? The mind has its own expectation of how things should go in our lives, right? Especially when it's based on the past, right? Because the ego is all about the past too. Okay, let's see the ego card before I start talking about the ego. Okay. Okay. So, this is about meaning. And it's funny, somebody said they were depressed on the chat. Okay, I'm just going to repeat here. So the manifesting generators, it says, have gone through some kind of disappointment, regret. Okay. Did you guys, did I get cut off? I hope not. I don't like repeating myself, but I don't want people to miss out what I'm saying either. Yeah. Okay, so some kind of disappointment. The Five of Cups, regret, requires forgiveness, and it's emotional because it's cups, right? It's water. So there can be, what the ego card here is, okay, Kimberly. Kimberly, are you a manifesting generator, or you're, I think you're a manifester, right? Yeah. So then the ego card is the meaninglessness. The meaninglessness. Yeah. And this is the ego is saying that life's all, life's got no meaning, right? It's the emptiness. It's this sense of nihilism, especially when we go through kind of a Five of Cups moment, having regret, right, in our life. And this connects back to depression. So depression. Oh, you're a manifester. Okay. There's something called cold depression. Cold depression. So this is what happens when humanity goes through a huge shift, like a transitional shift of the planet, that we go through what's called a gray period. This is ancient yogic teachings. We go through a gray period. So this means we're not quite out of the old way of being, the old age, and then we're not quite in the new age. And in between, because everything's shifting on the planet, the energy and the vibration shifting on the planet, there can be like this sense of nihilism, like there's no meaning in life, because the ego's losing its control too. It's the ego and mind are getting dismantled during this time. So what are we faced with? Like people who are not connected, they're not attuned to their spirit. They're more aligned with the ego and the mind and the physical reality. Well, they're going to experience this as nihilism, like a deep, deep emptiness that we all have to face. This emptiness, right? And this is about bringing the spirit back. This is spirit awareness that's coming back. So, and this is called cold depression. Right? So this is like most of the people on the planet won't realize that they're depressed. And this was what cold depression is. And this is like the spirit and the soul have been so squeezed. The soul hasn't had room to breathe. That's why it's a rib cage, right? It's like the soul is like entrapped in a prison, right? In the rib cage. This is, the cold depression is like frozen, like your spirit is frozen. So most people are in this state of cold depression. That's what this is saying, but they don't realize it. And it's empty. Yeah, so what you need here is your soul. So this, to me, manifesting generators is showing you that this regret, which involves like an emotional release, is to not go into the sense of meaninglessness. Like, don't listen to the ego. Like, life has no meaning. My life has no meaning. What's the point of this life? Is to just feel this regret and disappointment, because I miss my pictures. I like using my pictures here. Right? Is to go through here. Right? This is what we're to go through the emotional body to the spirit awareness on the other side, right? So it can feel empty, when we're at this point, this choice point right here. We're leaving behind the ego and the mind, and we've got to go through here, right, to spirit awareness. We have to go through the emotional body. It can feel meaningless, but there's there's fullness. There's emptiness here, but there's fullness on the other side as we move through this emotional body, right? That's what this is saying. And the five of water is a gift, right? This regret and disappointment, because it's coming from here, this 0 to 7 years old, right? That's where it really originates. Some kind of disappointment you had as a child is being echoed now, right? Manifesting generators. And it takes a saying to forgive. It's about forgiveness, maybe forgiving somebody that's disappointed you, that you have a deep regret, because it's all about loss right now. It's all about loss. And the loss is just everything that's no longer aligned with you and your authentic self, right? That's leaving. Yeah. So use this. Everything that you feel, you've got, like every emotion that comes up, you've got to look at it like there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with whatever feeling is coming to the surface for me. It's the compost, right? This is the compost that the divine is giving me to heal, to become whole, and to move through into the spirit awareness where there's fullness. There's emptiness here. There's fullness on the other side, right? Spirit, that's your soul, is on the other side of this. Yeah. It's to trust. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And the thing is, we can get addicted to the busy, busy, busy. I'm just thinking of manifesting generators. Or want to be productive, right? Productive and go and do and make things happen. That life can seem meaningless when things aren't going your way. This is like things are not going your way with this 5 of Cups. But they're really not going the ego's way, right? This is what it really is. Life's not going according to your ego and your mind, you know? Yeah. Okay. So that's the manifesting generators. And let's go to... I didn't think this was going to work, but let's see. We're going to go to the reflectors. Okay. So we're going to go to the reflectors. Now, only 1% of the world. So this is a good time for you, reflectors, because we're going in, there's so many planets in retrograde, to go within for the reflectors. The reflectors follow the moon cycle. And they're kind of on the outskirts, right? Reflectors, they're on the outside of the circle of life. And that's so they can, that are operating correctly, the reflectors, so they can be the sage on the hill, you know, kind of the sage on the hill. So they have this objective view of the group. That's why I always like to hear the reflectors' feedback of what's going on with them, because it's not personal, you know. The reflector thinks, oh, it's just personal to me. It's like, no, you're tapped into the collective, right? You're like a little barometer for the collective. Whatever group you belong to, right? You're reflecting back to them how they're doing as a group, the group dynamics. Let's see here. Okay. What do the reflectors need to hear? What do the reflectors need to hear? My computer's doing weird things today. Okay, so the reflector got the Chariot. The Chariot. More movement. More movement. You can see it's a little the angel there with the riding the two unicorns there on his chariot. On her, it looks like her chariot. Although angels are androgynous usually. Okay. So this is movement for the reflectors. And it's victory. It's victory. It's a major arcana card. The Chariot. It's probably the fastest tarot. The fastest movement in the deck is the Chariot. And then the Eight of Wands is the second. So it looks like you're moving. You're moving somewhere. Your psyche's moving somewhere. Reflectors. Hopefully into your right community, your right group of people, if you're not in there already. Okay. So then the ego is telling you that you're confused. You're confused, right? So confused about this movement or where you should be moving to. And remember that the overall tarot here is the wheel. Right? And the wheel is like it's the karmic wheel is moving. It's moving anyway. Right? You don't have to worry about using your willpower or whatever, right? To decide. Remember, it's like the wheel for you is like a whole moon cycle. So when opportunities come for you, because it looks like they're going to this week, is to really honor your type, right? And it's like I've got to wait through the whole moon cycle. And like I said, it's best for the reflectors to have some kind of moon journal. See where the moon is. The moon shifts every 2 days, right? Every 2 days the moon will shift signs. So the confusion is the mind. Confusion is not to be fused with the divine. So this means that unexplained emotions are coming up. So this is trying to understand things with the mind, right? Trying to understand everything with that mind up there. It fits with the 61, right? Trying to know. So the confusion, reflectors, how do we go back here? Confusion. This means that past life memories may be surfacing for you that the mind doesn't understand. Unexplained emotions, because the past life memory comes through emotional memory. And this could be the feeling you're losing control in your life. That's the mind. The mind, I'm losing control of my life. I've got to understand. Right? Where is he? I got to understand. I need more facts. I need more figures. It's like you don't work like that, reflector. Right? And not to get distracted by, I need more information, I need more advice, I need to talk to this friend, I need to talk to that friend, right? Giving your power over. It's like go inside, reflector, and take your time, right? Of all the types, you're the one that has to have the most patience to go through a whole moon cycle. So it's saying that you're being pulled to a person or a place, and you're not going to be able to figure this out with your mind, but this Chariot energy is taking you there, right? It's taking you there. Yeah. So that's what I would say. It's just to surrender to your process, which is to go through the whole moon cycle, like you're tasting it, right? It's Teflon. You've got the Teflon aura. You're tasting, resistant and sampling, right? You're sampling the experience and the people around you. Yeah. But you're moving. That's what I see, like movement. Yeah. And it's got to do with this, right? This Dreamer, the Fool card. Into the new chapter. Yeah. So there's the second major arcana. We got 3 up here and 1 there. And then the generators have had 1. And then now the reflector. Yeah. Yeah. So don't listen to the mind. Let the mind be confused, right? Talk to your mind like that. Thanks for your feedback, but I'm not going to go into obsessive thinking about this because this is not a good place for me as a reflector. I'm just going to be in tune with the moon, and that means to be with your feelings, right, as a reflector, right? Go through the whole process. Yeah. And be surprised by the process of like that's why it's good to be journaling. Yeah. Just let the mind be confused. That's okay. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to make any decisions to try to get rid of my confusion. It's just you end up in more trouble. But know that this chariot energy is taking you somewhere new. Okay. So what are we on now? Projectors. We're on the projectors. The projectors. 20% in the world. Projectors have to be invited. They try to initiate, they end up getting bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. So here to guide the other types. Here to wait. Wait for that to be recognized. Wait to be invited. That's the projectors. Okay, what do the projectors need to hear? What do the projectors need to hear? Okay, a jumper for the projector. What's the projector need to hear? Okay. Let's see. So you got the Seven of Swords. This is a card of caution. And another one. The Two of Cups and the Seven of Swords. Okay. So this is relationships, projectors. So the Two of Cups, they're the soulmates, right? The soulmate card, twin flames. And then you got the Seven of Swords. Okay, let's see the ego card. I just want to see what direction we got to take here. I see a couple directions we could take. The thing with the projectors, right? They have to be invited. They have to be invited. They have to be recognized for who they really are. And you'll know who you really are as a projector. And how you know when you're recognized is you're lit up. You just get lit up, right? When a person, like projectors, live to be recognized. So it has nothing to do with the mind projectors. It's like your energy. It's like you're lit up when somebody really sees you, really gets you and understands you. You don't have to be explaining yourself. Right? They just get you because they're for you. So just because it's the Two of Cups in your romantic relationships, you have to be recognized. And so what happens with projectors is they get desperate for the invitation. They've been waiting so long. You know, the cobwebs are forming around them. They're looking at their watch. When's this invitation going to come? Fighting their mind, right? Because the mind is like wants to initiate. Right? Well, just go over there. That's the person for you. She's the person. He's the person, right? Whatever your ego is telling you. Go initiate, be a manifestor. But that's not you. You got to wait. Right? You got to wait. And so that can be challenging for a male projector, right? Because the men are conditioned like we're the ones that go and initiate. We're the ones that go chase women. They don't chase us, we chase them. That's the rule book, right? The cross of planning. That's the rule book and the cross of planning manual, right? The tribal consciousness. Men act like this and women do this. They receive and they're receptive, and men are the active ones and they go after the women, right? So as a male projector, you got to be, it's more of a feminine approach, isn't it? Right? You got to wait. You got to wait to be invited, to be recognized and invited. So the Seven of Swords here, you can see that there. Right? You can see that she's sleeping on the bench with her sword, and she's got an apple, and then behind her is like someone taking her apples that she picked, right? So someone being not honest. So this to me too is about valuing yourself as a projector, valuing your energy, and not to compromise yourself, to just take any old invitation because you're desperate for an invitation. And it's just about being cautious. So that's when you go to your authority, right? You've got your strategy, which is to wait to be recognized and invited in romantic relationship, but also go to your authority. So if you see there, that's the solar plexus. If that's colored in any type, doesn't matter if you're a projector, any type that you have, this trumps them all, your emotional authority. So that means there's no truth in the now. So that's when you sleep on it, right? So the thing is, if somebody comes to you, right, she or he, and they're like recognizing you, yes, I'm lit up, I'm recognized, I've been invited, right? Then you want to say, I can't answer yes or no right now, I need to sleep on it. If you're emotionally defined, I need to sleep on it. And what's happening there is you're going through the high, because if you're high on your wave, yay, it's finally happening. I'm going to be in a relationship and it looks awesome and it's amazing. All you're seeing is the positive, right? When you're the high end of your wave. But if you're in the low end of your wave, no, I don't think so. Right? She or he probably is not who they say they are. This happened in the past. I don't think I'm going to go for this. Seeing all the negative things. You're in the low end of your wave. Do you see how both can, even like the person recognizes you, invites you in your low end of the wave. That's not true for you. They invite you, recognize and invite you when you're at the top end of your wave. That's not true for you either. What you have to do, sometimes it only takes 24 hours to go through your wave, and then you see all the different. You see the negative, you see the positive, and then eventually your emotional body will come to a clear. It will clear, and then the insight will come, and it will be a yes or a no. But the thing is, if that person says, come on, you got to answer right now, I'm not going to wait for you, I'm moving on, then they're not for you. But if they're going to be waiting for you, they see your value, they know your value, then they're for you. So if they honor that you have to wait, then they'll wait. They'll be patient and they'll wait because they'll know what they're getting, right? The value they're getting. Okay. This is so perfect. I love synchronicity. So the ego, what is the ego telling you, projectors? Right? It's telling you that you're worthless. This totally fits in with what I was tapping into. That you have no value. You have no value. Right? So in terms of relationship, it's selling yourself short. And this can get you in messy relationships. You need to remember, as a projector, it's like you're consuming the energy of another person, not in a vampiric way, right? But your aura is so sensitive, it's absorbing, right? It's focused and absorbing. So you're absorbing their energy. You just don't want to be just going off with anybody, you know? You got to really be aligned with their energy, right? They've got to value you. So no one's going to value you until you value yourself, right? So you have to value yourself first, and then you'll know. This person's not willing to wait for me. This person doesn't really recognize me. It's a low quality invitation. You know, they're not committed. They're not committed. I can feel that they're not committed. They're not honoring me, right? They're not valuing. They're not for you. And so you'll know, right? So this is how you can use your strategy. So you got to really address your value. And the world does not value projectors. Not yet anyway, right? The world does not value projectors because we live in a generator world, right? The energy bunnies, the generators are go, 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 go. They've created this world, this 9-to-5 grind, this consumerism, all that stuff. This is the generator world that we're living in. Of course, the other types are not going to be valued in the generator world. They don't understand us, you know, and what we have to offer. So that's what I see here, is just to be cautious. The invitation is coming, right, for a relationship, but you have to be cautious, right? You have to be cautious and know that this is a big deal. This is one of your big, huge invitations, is relationships. So you want to be with the right partner. And then it's a beautiful thing if that person comes to you and they're sincere, right? And they value you and they honor you, right? And there's this equal exchange of energy. Then it can be a beautiful thing, the relationship between a projector and generator, a relationship between a projector and a manifestor, or a projector, or projector, reflector, right? Yeah. The one thing I will say, if you're with projector, you can invite each other, right? I have projector friends and I'm able to invite them and talk to them. The energy's correct. Projector can invite projectors, but you can't invite the other types. Yeah, and to know your value. Mm-hmm. And listen to insights. If somebody's coming to you with a little bit of deception and dishonesty, listen to your intuition and your insights, not the ego, right? So you want to be going deeper, projectors, right? And you'll get the truth and the insight. But you're not desperate, right? There's people there's people there out there that are for you. Okay. Okay. So what do we got left? We got the manifester. The manifesta. The manifestas. And the manifestors have the closed and repelling. They got the closed and repelling auras. Yeah, if you're emotionally defined, time is your friend. Time is your friend. I notice that when I sleep on it, get invited. Not with relationships, with other opportunities. If I honor my type and my authority, it's like I got to sleep on it, then the deal gets sweeter. That means they really, really want you. Okay. Okay, what is the manifestus? the manifestors need to hear? What does the manifestor need to hear? What does the manifestor need to hear? I know. What's the manifestor need to hear? Okay. We have another one for the manifestors. So you got the Justice card. The Justice card. You can see here the sword. So this is Major Arcana card, the Justice card. This is fairness. It's the law. It's karma. So to me, it's saying that something's come into balance. Could be like a legal contract is coming to an end for you, manifestors. Something's coming into balance. That's what justice means. You can see she's got the scales there, right? Justice. But some kind of karmic contract is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. So you may have some kind of legal contract that came to an end. And what's the ego card for the manifestors? Some kind of karmic experience. That's way too many. I'm hearing forgiveness too. You may be getting an apology or given an apology to balance the scales for the manifestors. Okay. So the manifestors are here to initiate. You can see she's got the third eye activated. You're here to listen to divine inspiration because it's the gift of inspiration, the 61. Whatever your intuition is telling you to do through your dreams, through signs out in the world, you can receive divine inspiration that way too. You know, where you keep seeing the same repeating numbers or something's reminding you of some intuitive hit you got. That's the divine inspiration. And then you share, you tell your friends, tell somebody, this is what I'm going to do. And then you manifest. So when you're operating correctly, you're feeling at peace. And when you're not, you're angry because you're meeting resistance. And you're meeting resistance because you're not obeying your type. You're not obeying your aura. Right? And your aura is closed and repelling. People are used to this, manifestors. The teddy bear aura. 70% of the world are open and enveloping. They got the big fuzzy aura, right? They feel welcomed, right? And then they come across as a manifestor aura, and it's like pushing. It's pushing people away in a sense, right? Closed and repelling aura, right? And remember, we live in a generator world. 10% are manifestors. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the Justice card, just because we have this other reading, it's all about new beginnings, right? So something's going from the past that's been very, very karmic for you. Could be in a karmic relationship, right? A karmic situation where you had to learn a lot of painful lessons, because usually karma comes with painful lessons, until you embrace the dharma, right? That's the thing. When we're in our karma, it can feel like, oh, I'm a victim, and why are these horrible things happening to me? You want to move into your dharma. It's like, this is happening because this is my karma. I'm balancing out cause and effect. That's all it is. Cause and effect. Cause could have been last lifetime or the lifetime before that, you know? And now I'm balancing it out. It's coming to an end just because of these cards, right? This is all about endings. So, yeah. So that's coming to an end. Coming into balance, you're coming into balance, coming into that 0 point again, right? And then you got the ego. And what's the ego telling you? It's to stay distracted, right? That's this open crown. Keep distracted on things that don't matter, right? Look over there. Look at this YouTube channel, look at that YouTube channel, read this article, do this, do that. It keeps you out of balance, and it keeps you up here on the surface of life. You're up there, right? And this time is calling you, manifestor, to go to your deeper self so you can hear this divine inspiration that's trying to get through to you, right? So what is the distraction about? Well, what's the ego do, right? The ego's got blackmail on you. The ego's got blackmail on you. That's why he's controlling you. Look over here, look over here. Be busy, 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 busy on the surface of life, right? With information, with people. Well, it's about this. The blackmail is this, right? You're avoiding pain, emotional pain. Right here, there's some emotional pain. And if you've just finished a karmic relationship, right? If you just finished with the karmic relationship, like finally it's over. It was like 20 years of this, or 20 plus years of this that I've been with this person, and it's finally finally came to an end. Well, you need time, right? You need time to heal, and this means to do this work, this emotional work that maybe you didn't have time for when you were in this karmic relationship, right? So you don't want to be locked into the intellect. And so the ego wants you to be distracted, right? Distracted from this deeper emotional work that you're being called to do, right? And when we end relationships, we don't jump into the next one. That's not the way to do it, because you end up dragging all the stuff from your past relationship to the new relationship, right? You want to process, you want time to like air out, air out from that relationship and do any residual emotional work you need to do, to really let go so you can begin the new. So that's what I see for the manifestors, is just to take your time. And so maybe you left your karmic relationship, 5 years ago or whatever, and you're like, Michael, I'm over it. Well, this is saying no, you may not be over it. Maybe you got some residual stuff to let go of. It took me a long time. Oh, well, I'm a projector, to get over my last relationship. Because if projectors take in the other person so deeply, So you don't want to be avoiding the pain. So, right, release, right? It's about releasing the past, really going through the transformational process. And that means to do this, right? To do this work, to do this emotional work. Let the emotions come and just feel them, I find too, what really helps too, when you're in the middle of because maybe you got your eye on, this is my next relationship, right? This is where I want to go. That's great and all, but make sure that you're ready. That's what this is saying, just that you're ready, right? Then not to be distracted from this deeper work, because this is going to make you, this is going to bring to you a much healthier relationship to you, because it's an emotional connection, right? That's what you're having with the other person, your relationship. You want that purified, that emotional body purified as much and released, right? Like releasing those old emotions, old resentments and things like that. Letting go of the past, basically, right? So this is saying the pause, manifestors. Just take a pause and the wheel will move. The wheel is moving, right? The wheel's moving. You're releasing. You're gaining a new perspective on relationships, what they can be, right? That's more aligned with you, who you really are, and not running and taking action just yet, with the Knight of Fire, before you're ready, right? Like really tune in. Am I ready? And your divine inspiration will let you know, right? Will let you know, okay, this is the time. You initiate now. Initiate. And remember what I said about the male projector. You got to look at the female manifestors. We're kind of in the same boat, the female manifestor and the male projectors, because everything's turned on its head, right? Remember Sadie Hawkins Day? Sadie Hawkins Day, that's when the girls would ask the boys to dance, right? This is this tribal cross the planning stuff, right? Well, it's Sadie Hawkins Day every day for the female manifestor, right? You're the one that has to initiate. So a man has to be really strong in his masculine self, his divine masculine, right? To be okay with a female manifestor partner, right? Yeah, so that's what it's saying. It's just this is what I see, like intuitively. To just the wheel is moving. You don't need to force the wheel, right? The wheel is moving you away from the past. You're gaining a new perspective, right? Pause so that you can begin the new, right? The dreamer, the fool. Yeah. Yeah, so stay out of your mind and just trust and be patient. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else for the manifestors? Yeah. And you're another type, right? That you have to be understood. The manifestors are very misunderstood. Yeah. So inform, right? That's a big part of your strategy, is to inform and to share and to trust the timing. This is what the wheel is saying. Trust the divine timing of everything. Okay. Let's see. Very interesting. Uh-huh. Oh, you're actually the Queen of Wands. That's funny. That's great. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots to learn, Queen of Wands, about human design. So, but stick with this channel, right? Oh, yay, Reflector. Okay. Yeah, there's lots to learn from each type. Especially if you're a projector, we're here to learn about all the other types. And it just comes natural to us anyway. Okay. So, probably the next, I have a cold depression. My cold depression meditation should be on my channel if you do a search. Like I said, I've been meaning to get those on my website. And just a reminder that my program, the Sleeping Phoenix program, is going to start. I'm going to bump it actually to September 18th. I'm going to bump it to September 18th. Yeah. the start date. So keep this in mind. And this is all about preparing you for the 2027 global cycle shift and the solar plexus mutation. So you're going to learn all about worm tongue, all the tricks of the ego, all the 77 traps of the ego. But most importantly, we're going to be purifying this emotional body. And I know that sounds scary to people, you know, but it's work that we have to do, and it's so fulfilling. You know, when you have that big breakthrough, that first one, the first one's always the hardest. When you have the huge one, the huge breakthrough, but the insights come, the expanded state of awareness comes, right? Your perception changes, your intuition gets stronger and stronger. You start attracting things that are more and more aligned with your authentic self, like life gets better and better. And this is where the movement has to happen, not externally. That's not the cause, right? The cause is inside you. That's where the movement has to happen. It has to happen through that emotional body now. That's how we're moving into spirit awareness. So keep that in mind, okay? That's September 18th. That's going to be the start date for that. It's going to be very impactful. And I'll be able to work more closely with people, right? And be able to look at your charts. And anyway, I'll put more and more on my website about it, okay? And there'll be meditations, group meditations, and homework you'll have to do. You'll have a daily sadhana to do too, okay? But I'll see you on Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, because we got the full moon coming up on the 9th. Okay, so everybody have a good day. Where am I here? Have a good day or evening wherever you are in the world. Okay, have a good day, evening wherever you are in the world, and take good care of yourself. We're in like really intense times right now, but the planets are all showing us it's time to go inside. So just to take your time. September is going to be elongated. I don't think it's going to rush like the other previous months. It's going to be like a long stretch, right? So you just want to go deep inside and find your own inner truth. Yeah. Okay. And find who you are. Get more in touch with your own frequency. That's what you can count on now, is your own frequency and your authenticity. Okay? So I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you next time. Sat Nam Aloha.